I'm gonna share.
Oh, yeah,
Hello,
sure.
everyone. Welcome back to C.H.A.I Together. I'm your host and founder, Pratiba Day. You are tuning in for your cup of courage, hope, and imagination today. Today, I have with me my very, very great friend. Thanks, Vic. Victor Parrish, and he's an incredible human being, and he's been helping me a lot throughout my 6-month journey now. So I look forward to sharing more about him with you. And before I go on, I just want you guys to know that we use courage to showcase the stories on this platform. We use hope to overcome, and we use imagination to resonate and understand with the stories being shared. So please, with kindness and an open heart, welcome Victor Parrish. And thank you for those tuning in.
For having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we match again. Like I said, I always say this. So,
I
how are
love
you
it.
feeling?
I'm great. I'm great. I'm excited to be on with you. I'm excited to share. And I'm excited to chat together. I love it.
Aw,
It's awesome. That's why I'm like
cheers.
I'm a big fan, as you can see, right?
Hold up your cup. I know you got the background today.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I think it's amazing. I think the logos. I mean, it's so perfect. It's simple. It's unique, and it's great.
I know
And,
I
and
painted
anytime.
it. Aw, thanks so much. So you're having chai tea.
I'm actually that's not chai tea, but I love chai tea.
Is
That's
it
I'm
coffee?
coffee already. It's water now. So I have to have my water, just to be honest. So I had my coffee early this morning, and
Yeah.
but I love
Yeah.
chai tea. It's one of the
Oh,
most. It's a different kind of taste. Um, but I love chai tea. I've had it before many times. I'm just drinking water right now. Having
yeah.
my cup and a half of water right now. I think this is what a 10 ounce mug,
It's
15 ounce,
15 ounce.
15 ounce. So
What
15.
kind what brand of chai tea?
Um, I forgot which one I used to. It's in a green box. I don't remember. And it's in a green
Okay.
box. I don't remember the name of it. But the last
Mm,
time I had it was when I lived in New York, and I've been here for 3 years. So
I
when
know.
you came up with your name, I'm like, oh wow, I haven't tried tea in years. And it's a different, unique spice taste to it, which I love. And
Mhm.
out of it, it's great. It's good.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the yeah, you'll receive your mug, someone said.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a Western the spice aspect, it's
Hmm.
possibly cinnamon, but they make it spicy, here.
Yeah.
So I want everyone, since they're tuning in, to know more about you. So I'm gonna go ahead and read your little intro now.
Mhm.
So Victor Parrish is born and raised in Brooklyn and is now a husband and father living in New Jersey, and that's where I live.
Yeah.
He decided to leave the corporate life for the network marketing industry. He's built a sales organization of over 15,000 customers and distributors and earned multiple six figures. His passion is to help people change the status quo. And now he's helping people build and restore their credit, including me. So let's dig more into his challenges and Vic's mental health journey. And thanks for all of those tuning in. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Yeah. So where would you like to start?
You can lead, and I'll share my insight and my experience, my journey.
Mhm. All right, so let's start when I met you like 8, 9 years ago now. So it was like 20. And at that time, were you just starting to shift into the network marketing industry?
I was. You said
Mhm.
about a decade ago, right? 10 years ago. How long ago
Yeah,
was? So
yeah.
about a decade ago, was 2011. Yeah. So that was probably my first year in the industry of network marketing. At
Mm,
the time, I was an accountant. So I worked for one of the top four accounting firms, one of the top four public accounting firms in the U.S. and nation. And I was there full time. At the time, I think I was there for 5 years.
mhm,
I was there for 7 years total, but I was there for 5 years, and I was just looking for something else. I was looking for an opportunity, and it was very young. I was very new to the industry. I had I was in real estate for a few years. I did a little bit of investments, studying real estate agent. Um, I did different things growing up, but I actually first year network marketing was that year. Going into that first year, so I didn't know anything. I was more what they call ignorance on fire, right? And I just was going, but that one year, and let me kind of preface by saying this: that was the most challenging year personally and as a family.
mm,
Right? That was the year that I found out that my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer, and I didn't know that. And so I was building and building, and when they say network marketing, you sacrifice a season of your life. I didn't know. I was working a full-time job as an accountant, part-time in, my business, and then my family was going through things at home. So they didn't know what I didn't know. So if I look at back in hindsight, those moments only made me stronger and the journey more fulfilling, made the journey more rewarding, and it made it more purpose-driven for me as I continued over the last decade of my life in that industry.
So are you still in the company?
I'm not. I'm no longer. I have moved on to different things, different opportunities. Now, let me kind of say this. I believe in the network marketing industry. I believe that the industry, if anyone's looking to become an entrepreneur, I'm a huge advocate for the industry simply because it's a viable business model, right? As long as you can find a product and a service that you believe in, I think it's great. It's a great starting point for entrepreneurs to begin their journey, if you will, right? Because once you have a traditional business, there's startup fees, there's costs, there's overhead, there's marketing. This spoke about before, right? Marketing,
Yeah.
there's back office, front office. It's a lot of expenses. Essentially, with a network marketing company, it is a business in a box, right? Everything's all set
Mhm.
up, and all you are is your. I guess in our term today is you're a brand ambassador of that industry, of that company. You're a
Mhm.
distributor, an ambassador. You're someone who believes in the product, and I think that's a great way for people to start out if they're looking to get into entrepreneurship, to get their feet wet, to understand how to build an organization, how to lead, how to motivate, how to believe, how to essentially build your brand, right? That's what we did over the last decade. We built our brand, and it was great. I loved it, and I still look at opportunities. I'm still involved in in a few here or there, but I think it's important that you find your niche, right? You find
Mhm.
and your identity throughout it all.
I'm doing it. All right. I know one video of yours that I always remember and go back to is the one when you gave a speech regarding your stutter.
Mm.
So when did your stutter, like, when did it begin and when did it fade?
That is a interesting question because I don't think it ever faded.
Wow.
And it's still there, right? Most people can't tell, right? It is the increase in confidence that
Mm.
allowed me to control it, right? I started, it was more like a stammer. And I remember when I was young, maybe 4 or 5, I was young enough to know that the way I sounded affected people around me because they either laughed, they either teased, or they either were like, "What's wrong with you?" Right? So I was like, and as a young kid, you don't really you're like your brand, like you're still developing, you're still learning the world. So the reactions around me, those are still ingrained to me in me today, right? And I was like, "What's wrong with me?" So, I mean, I even walked a pigeon-toed bow leg. My mom told me that when I was born, my hips grew inward. So doctors told her that 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 they should break my hips, pop them out, and put them in braces. And
Wow.
she didn't do that. She said, I'm like, damn, that would have been painful. She said, yeah, I couldn't deal with that. So we put different shoes. So we put the left shoe on the right shoe on the left foot. That makes any sense, right? And I helped you grow like that, so you can start growing your feet outward. But
Wow.
it was a challenge, and it still is a challenge. Even getting on live webinars, getting in front of a camera, it
What?
makes me uncomfortable. But I know that the only way outside, I mean, to create success is to stay outside your comfort zone. And for me, it's like when you asked me to do this, I think I kind of delayed it a few times, right?
Oh
um,
my gosh, is that why?
yes, it's
Aw.
because I was building up the courage to get in front of a camera again. That's one of my biggest areas of growth is this, right? Um,
Mm.
what would people say about me? What would they react? Will they lose confidence? Will they lose respect because I sounded different? or I sounded funny. And it's a constant, it's constantly in my mind because of the way I grew up. But thankfully, I had a great support team. My family, my mom, and everyone else. They believed, they helped out, so it was good.
So do you find that the bullying still affects you now, where you overanalyze your thoughts?
I do, I do. So one of the things I remember when I was in school, fifth grade, I won't say
Mhm.
his name.
Like,
Who knows where she's at today? But I was. She had asked me. I'd asked her if I could use the restroom, and I remember she saying, and I stammered. Now I couldn't really get the word out. It
mm,
was one of those things where, and I could kind of share with you how the stammer was. It was like this, like where your my muscles in my neck. I couldn't speak, so I was
mm,
like, kind of trying to get it out. The class started laughing, except for my few friends in my area, like in my table, like
mm.
four desk. And she's like, "What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Can you just ask?" And
Oh
I was
my god.
just like, and I'm over here attempting to ask her, and I just sat down. So one of the things I look at is people don't realize that every one of us, we're facing challenges and inner things that we know nothing about. So it's important to be kind. You never know what someone's experiencing, right? What they're going through, what they're growing through, right? And what they've gone through. So you never know someone's story. You're not good enough. You're not better than them. And to this day, I mean, I think that's been a little bit of a hindrance for me because I see everyone on social media, and this is why for me it's a challenge to get on social media and TikTok and all that because I'm like, I like my private life, but I'm also a private public figure.
Mm.
And to get in front of a camera, it's like, oh man, I gotta do that again. And my coach has told me many times, you have to get out there. You have to get out there. And so it's a constant battle, you know. But
Mm.
I become victorious once in a while. Sometimes it doesn't get the best of me.
It's a part of your name.
It is Victor. That's right. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're here and others are glad you're here.
I
And
appreciate it. Yeah,
yeah, you're being vulnerable. It's very good.
it's important to be vulnerable, right?
Yeah. When did you start being more vulnerable? Like, were you always this way?
No, I was actually quiet. So my mom told me that I was a clown growing up,
Yeah.
um, and I was very talkative in school, right? So I got
Mhm.
in trouble for talking to the girls behind me in class, and I would get in
Mhm.
trouble on how to go to the next room, and my punishment was writing the dictionary. So I knew that number one, I was talkative, so I talked a lot. So looking back in my life, I'm like, all right, I have to be in a industry where I'm speaking, right? Ironically, now I've publicly spoken I mean, internationally, domestically. I
Mm.
train people on how to build organizations, lead, motivate, inspire, and I didn't realize that for a long time I held my story in, right? But I think what we tend to forget is that um, people can relate to you more if you just are a little bit more vulnerable, right? I think
Yeah.
that when you come a long way, right? And I know your story. That's why I'm so proud and I'm so excited because you can touch people that I can't. Your
Mhm.
story can touch people that other people can't. So I realize that there are people out there that are waiting, they're watching, and they're wanting for you to share your story. And
Mhm.
they resonate with you, they believe in you. And when you share that part of you that's vulnerable or deep, you kind of liberate them to be able to, wow, if he or she can do it, that gives me the opportunity. So I started sharing it. And at my first engagement, when I did share my story, people came up to me at the end and like, I didn't know that. Me too. I went through that as well. And you wouldn't even believe the amount of people who messaged me when they said, I stutter, I stammer. How'd you do it? Could I, and so it was one of those great moments for me where I was saying to myself, wow, I think it's so important to share your gift, right? I think we all have, God-given gifts. I call it the triple G, right? It's important to share. your triple G, your God-given gift, because
Yeah.
if you, you know, it doesn't serve humanity if you're not sharing what you have. And that's what I'm working on. Still working on that today. It's a
Aw.
process.
Yeah, I just want to tell the viewers, thanks for everyone who's tuning in, commenting. We really appreciate the interaction. I just want to share that I just turned 28 and I met Vic when I was about 19 and 20. So we've been in touch for a long time.
Hmm.
And when I used to speak with him, we didn't used to speak on things, regarding life, more so mindset, because we were in the same company at the time
Hmm.
and it was an MLM. And yeah, so now, Vic, I can definitely say that you speak more about, open up and speak more about your heart and like what's going on with you and even your mental health. And that was not something that was happening back, years ago. No one even, mental health wasn't even a thing.
Um, it was this
Yeah,
this facade, if you will, right? Like,
like go, go, go.
what? Ain't nothing wrong with me. Go. It's like no, and then you work, 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 and then you home and you just break down.
Oh my
It's doing so much.
man. I don't, I, it comes to mind. I want to know, about your circle of five. Those
Mhm.
5 people, you don't have to name them. What do those 5 people do for you? Like, how has it bettered you?
That is a great question. So I have many acquaintances over the
Mhm.
years. My circle has
Yeah.
grown small in size,
Mhm.
but it is increased in value. And I still have friends. I still have people that I talk to, acquaintances. Not everyone I did grow up with, I
Mm.
still in contact with again for my own sanity. But those core people, one of course, including my wife,
Yeah.
many others, right?
Aw.
They the support level is there. I think when you're building anything, when
Mm.
you're pursuing anything, and you have a dream or a goal, I think your area of influence is so important because they can essentially bring you down or up or lift you up, and so the support is there, right? The ideas and the brainstorming is there, right?
Mm.
We call it we mind map, right? We mindstorm and we map out ideas, and so I've been the friend to have so many great ideas, like, oh, we should do this and this. And friend goes, dude, let's just focus on one, right? And let's get to that. Let's fix that one first and move on to the next. So I have all these great ideas, but it's important for someone to tell you what you need to hear. But like you're moving too fast, bro. Slow
Yeah.
down a bit. All right. Focus on this. Why haven't you done this yet? Like, why are you lazy? And it's not like being lazy when you have so much. You're like, I won't
Yeah.
call it overly ambitious, but you're everywhere. And so I've known to be everywhere, but those core people kind of keep me in check. They held me down.
I'm the same way too. Recently in our mastermind group, we discussed how it can be confusion. That's what it can be when you have so many things.
Yeah,
To not feel that confusion by just focusing on the one thing. But, if it's out of habit, then that can be difficult to do.
it sure is.
Yeah. I was just thinking about what the rest of the conversation was. It doesn't come to mind.
No, it's important.
Mm.
Every day, every day is a better day, and it's a new day to grow, to become better.
Yeah.
I'm realizing that more now that I have a son, right? So it's
Yeah.
things are different, a lot different.
Speak about how that impacted the name of your business.
That's a so wow. I'm a credit. I'm in credit restoration. I don't call it credit repair because credit repair is a name.
Mhm.
We call it credit, education, credit restoration. But
Yeah.
the name of our company is called Arc Credit Pro. Um,
Mhm.
my son's name is Noah, and he's one about 15 months, 15 months now, 16 months. And I was in the finance field for years. All right, so I got into real estate for years, and I was an accountant, and I did, I did a lot of different industries. But I was in the finance and credit space for over a decade. And I
Mm.
stopped for a decade to get into the network marketing arena. And when I came back into it, things changed. And I knew I wanted to get into an industry where I can essentially have that same fulfillment as a network marketing arena, but to help people with their finances and overall well-being and health, like as far as credit health, financial health. And I decided to get back into the credit space, into the financial space. And so being a coach for me made sense. And I was thinking about a name for almost a year. So as I started studying, you wouldn't believe it, like the the stress about creating a name drove myself and my wife nuts. She goes, just start the thing already
Oh
and
my
figure
God.
out later on. And that's that push, right? That motivating drive to like get it done. I ended up building the credentials, the certifications. I have got quite a few of them now, right? They're all over here. And studying the laws, and just for the last for almost a solid 2 years before we actually launched it, because I wanted to do it the right way, right? And the name just came. I was I think I was at a service one day, and like the pastor was just talking one time, and he kept saying, and this was the first time going
Mm,
to a service with my wife and my son since he was born. And the name of the service was the Ark. And
mm,
how Noah was obedient, and and so how he kept saying build and restore. He built this ark, and then he restored this, and I was like, what are you saying, God? I'm like, and I think it was for me more divine moment
Yeah.
where I like hit my wife. I'm like, wait, and she goes, what? Listen, and I'm like, no, I got the name of the company. She's like, what? I'm like, Ark Credit. She's like, what? And I'm like, never mind. And for me, that's what it was. It was a divine moment. Ark Credit. And
Wow.
ARC stand for, assets, resources, and knowledge, because that's what we do. We help you become an asset to life.
Yeah.
We provide you with the resources and the continuous knowledge to be able to build your life. So it's helping you build and restore your credit in life.
Hmm.
And for me, it was peace. It was peace because my son has given my life so much purpose, more meaning. I used to say in in my last business, my network marketing business, that as a leader, and if you consider yourself a leader, you don't afford the luxury of having an off day, right? There's
Mm,
no such thing as an off day. You've got lives that you have to help. You have to, impact. As as a son, I mean, as a dad now and a parent, it's crazy. Like I think about it today. I'm like, I'm a husband and I'm a dad. I'm a husband and I'm a dad. Those two things go hand in hand for me. It's something I've always wanted to do. And I look at my son, and I kind of get a little emotional about this because I don't ever want my son to struggle.
mm,
He's gonna struggle, but I don't want him to experience what I went through growing up. I want him to know how to treat a woman. I
mm,
want him to know how to respect himself and others. And I think about this one thing over and over. I heard it somewhere. It was years ago in my personal development journey. I don't remember who said it, but I always remember it today. And they were saying, I want you to imagine your life every day as if your life were a movie reel. And every waking moment, every moment you're asleep, every moment, everything you do is being recorded. Everything you do, good, bad, or indifferent, is being recorded. And for your children, the only way for them to live their life and their pattern and their guideline and their way to live is to watch this video.
wow.
It's like, what? The only way for your children to know what life is about and to, what example. So, what example are you leaving? That your children are going to watch this video to determine how they should live their life. And when I heard that, I was like, whoa, let me take a step back. And I think about what I'm going to do before I do it, the reaction, the result, the consequence of what it's going to, everything.
Mm,
And I think, would my son think this is okay? How would it affect my son's life? And it's just one of those moments where I just say, wow, let me rethink that, get up, right? Stop being lazy, because we all have our lazy moments. Do what you need to do, right? I think Les said it, and I love Les. It says, do what you need, do what you know, not what you feel.
Mm.
And I have it written up on my whiteboard. Vic, do what you know, not what you feel. And I'm like, ugh, I don't feel like doing this, but I know I have to
Mm-hmm.
do it. So yeah.
I can't say I felt like packing over 100 mugs individually, but I have to do it. I'm still shipping out today, you guys. So I can't say I've learned now, there's an online store, but you begin somewhere. So
Yeah, we all start somewhere.
deliver. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You've come a long way, man. I mean, man, I can't even, man. Yeah, let me tell you something. Fativa is awesome. She she has done so much. Her story is amazing. It's powerful. Y'all don't realize how. This is why I'm branding. Like this is why everything. I mean, I could have promoted my company and have my shirt on. It's not about me. It's
Yeah.
I
No.
could have had my shirt on, right? My company name and logo and all that. It's not about me. It's about the journey, right? One journey at a time, one life at a time. And
Yeah.
I'm just honored to be on this live with you. I think this is going to be shared with people, and people are going to get value from this.
Yeah. People are tuning in now.
It's awesome.
So let me ask you, do you have a big goal? Like a C-type goal. C-type goal is a fantasy goal that you don't know the how, such as Bob Proctor says, but it's something you want to achieve, but you don't know the how. You have
Yeah,
a goal like that. Yeah.
I do have a goal. I have a goal. So let me kind of I'll
Mm-hmm.
start by saying this. So when I started my entrepreneur journey, I had income goals, and I still have income goals, of course. I have on my board, having a $30 million net worth by
Mm-hmm.
2025.
Mm-hmm.
I gave myself 10 years when I created that logo. I think I created it in 2015, right? And I
Yeah.
think it's so important, right? So I mean, obviously financially I have a goal with that, but my goal,
Mm-hmm.
I used to have goals financially and buying a big home and all that, but I think while those things are great,
Mm-hmm.
is being a beacon, right? I want to know how I can impact someone's life, not only through financially, but I think for me, the financial aspect is just a doorway for me, right? Because I think this is what I love what you're doing. You spoke like like you're bringing awareness to a mental health, and I think that's one of the most under. You know, we don't share that enough.
Mm-hmm.
People go through it, and I've gone through it, everything, right? And so now my goal is how can I use credit and finance to really impact 1,000 lives that impact 1,000,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I can't reach 1,000,000 lives. I can only reach a handful, and a handful reach. So each one teach one. My goal is to impact 1,000,000 lives. I don't know how I'm gonna do that. I have no clue, right? But I know I have to get uncomfortable and do more of these webinars and share more insight because I have a lot in here and a lot in here.
Mm-hmm.
And when I speak from here, it's great, but I ultimately always find myself going from here to here. I mean, I have clients that I help them. We do, audit analysis. We do client overviews, and we do client breakdowns and their numbers and credit. And then I always find myself coaching them
Mm.
about life and just mindset and just
Yeah.
breathing. And it's like, huh? Like, what the heck am I doing? And it's like, am I your financial coach or am I? So I think God's always finding a way to bring me back to, hey, I've given you the gift of financial, abundance and financial, mindset and know-how, but I'm going to use that for you to be able to impact people on a much greater scale. So a
Mm.
million lives, the numbers break down if I think 1,000 times, I don't know, something like 1,000 times, like times 1,000
Yeah.
is a million. So
Usman wrote it here. He said, "1,000 helping 1,000. The
yeah,
impact 1
there you
million."
go. Right. So wow, 1,000 times, yeah, because the zeros, right? So that's my goal, right? And I can't be afraid. I can't be timid. I still think about what people think of me, right? And it's one of those minor hindrances where
Mhm.
that's why, I have a hate love for social media, right?
Mm.
There are moments where I go, oh, right. And my coach always tells me, you have to learn how to separate personal and
Mhm.
business. All right. And sometimes I can't, not can't, that's not a good word. I don't know how to, all right. Because I
Mm.
find myself so empathetically involved with the world around us.
Mm.
I feel everything. It's so weird. I feel what's happening in the political realm. I feel what's happening in the social realm. I feel what's happening in everything. And it gets me so inundated where I just like, oh man, you have and it's like this weight, and the
Mm.
weight sometimes gets so heavy where I go into a deep depression. Right?
Mhm.
Been
Mhm.
there, and I remember Jim Carrey says this. Man, by the way, totally off topic. My mom told me I was a clown growing up. One of my idols growing up was Jim Carrey. I know all of his movies. I did all of his things like smoking, right? Right. So I was a clown growing up, but I followed him, and I still follow him to this day. And he's so consciously aware of the world around him. And he
Mhm.
said depression is deep rest, like depressed, deep rest. I was like,
Mhm.
deep rest. That's crazy. Never thought of it like that. We can be so focused on everything around us that we got to look within and just
Yeah.
want to relax and just breathe. So
You're doing great. You're sharing some great stuff.
appreciate it. I appreciate it. It's
So, you had shared, and it's not because I want to turn it towards me, but I
Mhm.
remember that when you had posted regarding, I believe it was suicide, right? Having suicidal ideations.
Yes.
And I remember you shared that I inspired you to do that, right? So before that, had you ever shared anything like that publicly?
I I have publicly at an event, a speaking engagement,
Yeah.
and I shared it with a group in New York in
Mhm.
Westchester. I think the group was about 1,000 people,
Yeah.
and that was the day where I invited my dad and my mother,
Oh,
like my dad and mom, to come see me speak. My mom
yeah.
saw me spoke before, but my dad never saw me spoke, and I shared the story of how I went through depression. And by the way, entrepreneurship is not easy. It is one of the most challenging things you will go through. You will have a lot of moments where you're not going to know where you're going to end. Every moment, every day, you think you got to wake up every day knowing that you've got to give it your all. And there are moments where I was earning great income, great
Mhm.
six-figure income. I bought a nice sports car, and I had a nice condo, right? A nice with the pool in the back. I mean, people saw me like, wow, dude, you got a nice place, you got a nice sports car, coupe, and I'm like, I'm living great income, and I just found that for me personally, those things, the material things, never really served me,
Mm.
and I found more that I'm more purpose driven than money driven, right?
Mm.
I found that the money, the car, the area was great, but it didn't really fill the void because I was doing well, right? But people around me weren't as successful, and
Mhm.
it still hurt. It hurt. So I went into a depression, and I remember I would just not pick up phone calls from our team at that particular time in my
Mhm.
life. Um, it was ironic because that was the same time where I let my credit take a hit, and I'm like, damn it, should I have done that? It's all fixed now, but I remember that was a time in my life where I was 4 months behind um, on my uh, on my condo. I was 3 months behind on my car. I was hiding my car. I went from earning high six figures to really barely making ends meet because I was just not working. I was,
Mm.
I was in bed, And when people called me, they were like, "What are you doing, bro?" It's like, "Yeah, I'm at a meeting. Let me call you back. I'm on the phone with a client." And I was home in bed, lights off.
Wow.
I was just thinking about the world around me, and I'm like, "What's the point of having all this? What's the point of having the income and the car?" And honestly, it got to the point where almost it became very unhealthy. And I
Mm.
remember the day, and I remember exactly what day it was. It was sometime like 5, 6 years ago, whatever it was. And I remember I had a book. I'll tell you the book afterwards. I kind of plotted it out how I wanted it kind of to figure it out. So I thought about doing it this way, like that way will hurt. That's gonna suck, right? This way, yeah. I'm literally, and I'm like, because I was depressed. And so I said to myself, you know what? I'm gonna unlock my door
Mm.
and I'm gonna just take these pills. And so I unlocked the door. I had these pills, whatever, and I was gonna take this pills, whatever. And I was like, you know what? How many should I take of these? And I was like, whatever. I didn't know how many, whatever. And so, mind you, I don't take medication. None of these. I don't really believe in it. I mean, personally, I believe in like natural remedies and stuff like that, whatever. But it's another story, another time for another podcast. But natural healing is how I believe in natural healing. But anyway, so it wasn't until I sat on my couch, the door was unlocked, and I'm like, all right, this is gonna suck, but I need someone to actually find me. So I need to figure this out. And then something told me to go pick up the book that was on my bookshelf. I'm not even kidding you. And I'm like, what? And it said, go pick the book up. So I looked over there and I picked up a book. And the book was by, ironically, Dr. Seuss. And it was crazy, but it was called "Oh, the Places You'll Go."
Mm.
And if you've never read the book, personally, that book, let me just tell you, it is any adult in their right mind needs to read the book. I'm just not. I don't. Whether you don't like him anymore, whatever. I think it's important. The message in that book, wow, like it says, you know, you're. It's just one part of the book was like, I don't remember the wording. It was like people around you are going places and you feel like you're not.
Mm.
Trust me, your time will come, and surely, and then it's like, and it was just like moment after moment, line after line. I read the book and I was just like, and I just broke down. And I remember reading a passage where it's like saying, you're not alone. You're gonna go through it. You'll soar to great heights. Your time will come. And I just dropped the book, broke down, and I said, dang, all right. If this isn't a sign, then I don't know what is. Right. And I'm like, gotcha. All right. I got more work to do. So we mustered the courage up to be able to kind of pursue on. And so, um, but that doesn't stop moments where I think about where I was in my life. Right. We all go through those moments. I think I'm just a little bit more vulnerable to share it. Um,
Mm.
and just I don't care what people think. As far as my story, I tell people, you're either gonna like me or you're gonna love me.
Aw.
If you hate me, then something's wrong with you. If you don't like me, something's wrong with you. That's a inner you problem, right? That's not a me problem. That's a you problem. Um, I just think when you realize your passion like you have, right?
Mhm.
Um, you allow yourself to become a vessel, right? A messenger, and that's why I love Try Together. I'll tell you that. I feel like it's like, yo, vibe together. Like it's all about the vibrations, right? And frequencies. And it's like, yo, we got to be more vibrant, with each other in this world, man, for real, for real,
Because how you say vibe together.
vibe together.
Dude, you're so funny and your whole story, because I never knew that about you. It's just so
Mhm.
captivating. This is
Yeah,
the time when you were building the MLM or you were just at the
yeah.
financial company?
Mhm. I was building the network marketing company, and it wasn't a company. It never was. It was me. It was
Mm.
I was earning great income. I was making an impact, but it was just me. I began looking within, I didn't really like myself. I'm not even kidding you. I literally would go and travel to like Tennessee or to, or Arizona or California and come back from a 3-day engagement of training and speaking, come
Yeah.
back home. There were even times where I would go back to my hotel room and I was miserable. And I'm
Wow.
like I just poured my heart out for like 8 hours. And then people were like, wow, you're amazing. I go back into the hotel room drained and feel like I was worthless. Like, man,
I never
like,
knew that. It's interesting because I also had my own traumas, and Vic didn't know, but I would always text him and he would be the one holding it together, like guiding me. But yet you were in trouble.
oh
So
yeah.
you don't know, like when your mental health is below someone else, the other person may seem like, oh my gosh, they have it all together, but
Mhm.
for you, it's like you didn't. You just portrayed the facade, like you said. Oh
Put up
my
a good
God.
put up a good front. It was, but it was important, right? Like that they tell you, you got to show, you got to lead by example, you got to, you can't be weak. And it's like the world of entrepreneurship and business, you can't be weak. I don't believe in the whole mentality of don't be weak and all that. I just believe that you need to find your voice. You know, what if your message can impact someone? I'm not kidding you when I tell you, I was in Arizona. I had quit my job finally after working for the accounting firm for 7 years. I decided to quit, gave them
Mm,
a 3-week notice, and I liberated myself. I mean, it was great. It was a great accounting firm. Mom and family were like, "You crazy, quitting your job? It's great. It's a great, job with great benefits." And then I needed to pursue my passion. And when I went to Arizona on the plane ride there, I just felt it was a like for me, necessary to be able to share. And I'm not even kidding you. That I think it was one of those trainings, I think in Arizona or Chicago. I shared my story about being suicidal, whatever, and went over it. And had someone message me that same weekend saying she was going to take her life that Friday evening
yeah.
and decided that she would show up. And because she showed up, she heard my story, she didn't. And I was like, almost like, I can't, like, wow, like, that's amazing because you think about it, like we say, resonate. We can touch
Mm,
people that we not like we may not know. Like you can't, I can't. We have a direct effect on your audience, your following. They're watching, they're waiting, they're wanting, right? To see what you do. And I'm like, man. And so when she shared that with me, I broke down. I'm an emotional person, right? But it's because I'm very empathetic.
mhm.
I'm a compassionate person. I love hard. I trust, but I don't. My trust. I have to believe in you and trust you first, right? Before I let you in my world. That's why I married my wife. Right? But and that's the thing for me. I just have that connection now, and now I'm beginning to become a little bit more open with people and connecting, so they can kind of fulfill their dream, fulfill their passion.
Hi, Charlene. She will watch it later, right?
Yeah, she'll watch this.
I want to know,
Yeah.
so you let your wife in, like that was
Mm.
for you,
Yeah.
right? And then how has since, yeah, let's just get to how has since, you've been married, I think 1 year, 2 years. How
Oh,
long?
2018. So it was so amazing. We married twice. So we married in court of law, or we married on 8/8/18.
Yeah.
So this August 8th will be 3 years. Wow, 3 years.
Mm.
And then 5 months later, we got married in the Bahamas on 1/19/19.
Oh.
And not even kidding, literally almost 10 months exactly to the date of
Mm.
1/19/19. Noah was born 11/18/19.
Oh my God.
So yeah, it was amazing. A lot. I mean, planning a wedding is insane, but it was crazy.
There's
Imagine.
nothing I can't get through. I want to ask you, since being married, how do you feel as in your transformation wise?
Well, as a man, let me start with that. As a man, your ability to lead
Mhm.
and your ability to provide. I heard a good friend of mine say that, the three P's, provide, protect, and praise. And it's like, I never heard the praise before. And, I'm a work in progress. We all are, right? I believe we all are. No one's a, finished product. I think throughout our life, we work and grow. And I always say that progress is a process, right? It's a process. So as when I got married, I knew I wanted to get married to her. So we did it twice. We got married here in New Jersey at a restaurant, a nice little, like, dining with close family and friends. And then we decided to get married in the Bahamas because we met in the travel club.
Mm.
And for me, she goes, "Well, you were the one that wanted the destination wedding." So, fellas, let me tell you something. It's okay if you want the destination wedding. I wanted it. Right? But she didn't complain. She loved it, and we don't regret it at all. It was a very intimate, about I would say about 70 people there.
Mm.
Very stressful planning it. We're happy it's over. But throughout that process, those 5, 6 months, we knew each other a lot more, right? We moved in a year prior, and for me, that was my biggest, area. Like my challenge was like, all right, here's the biggest test. You've never lived with a woman other than my mom, right? So let's see how it works. I've always liked my personal space. I don't care who you are, I like my personal space, all right? Um, but I thought that we were gonna like be at each other's necks. And 3 months in, we were fine. 6 months in, we were fine. And even during those moments, I experienced some major financial setbacks in my life. And I realized during those moments where I experienced, those setbacks, she kept it together. She held me down. She held us down. She didn't move. She didn't leave. And I'm like, all right, she's the real deal. All right, she's all right. It's almost like one of those things where you go, is she gonna pick up and go when I'm having like a bad season?
Mm-hmm.
Is she really here for the long run? And she was. I learned patience. I'm a patient person, but I learned to communicate more. I think my biggest thing was I internalize a lot. I
Mm.
used to not share how I feel. I used to not share. I went through like a bad depression when I was with my wife, and she knew it. She would say, "You're going through it right now. You are depressed." I had bad anxiety. I would have panic attacks. I literally remember
Mm.
driving one. I remember. I mean, they started off years ago, but like as a feeling, not knowing what it was, and it gone. The first time it happened was when we were driving home, and I started feeling this overwhelming feeling of emotions and thoughts. And then I couldn't breathe. Then I started like ventilating, and then I started sweating like like really bad, and then I got very dizzy. And I was driving on the highway, and it lasted for about 3 minutes, and she was knocked out sleeping. So I'm like, all right, Vic, I don't know what the hell's going on, but you have to get a grip right now because you're on the highway. Got home
Mm.
and I told her she whatever. And I think for me, it was during the time when we were planning a wedding, right? We had moved in, and then we were, doing a lot. So we had planned a wedding. We wanted to have a baby. We had as a lot. They say like the top five major stresses are buying a home, baby, moving together, marriage, whatever. So those are the top three I had. We had and experienced a lot. I mean, anxiety, like you would have named. I mean, I had 2 panic attacks back to back one time, and she knew I was experiencing those. But she was like, "You need to just relax, take it easy." And I'm like, "All right, cool." Um, so when I started to see that she was really there, I communicated with her because I used to internalize and then explode. So I would implode on myself and explode on someone else, and
Mm.
all just come out. So as a man, I learned to communicate my feelings. Hence why I say, fellas, it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to share your. It don't make you less than a man. I'm a man. Period. It doesn't make you less than a man. In fact, I think it makes you more of a man when you share your vulnerabilities, when you share your weaknesses, right? It'll liberate you. And I've done that. All right. I don't care about being macho. I'm married. All right. I have a son. All right. I have, I don't care for that. Right. For me, that works for me. Now, everyone's different, but I believe that it's important for you to be who you are. My wife believes in that, and communication is important. As a parent, learning to lead. Um, it is not the easiest, being a parent, being a husband, being a business owner, right? Being a mentor, being a brother, being a lot. I wear many hats, but the ones I'm most grateful is being a husband and a dad. Those are the
Wow.
best.
Yeah. I'd say those two things that aren't material, they matter the
Mhm.
most.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. I want you to share with everyone, you know, well, firstly, I want to say that I've been working with Vic, I think, I don't know, since last March.
Last on credit.
Yeah.
Last we started, I think July, no, May, July, May, June, something like that. May,
Yeah.
May, because we launched in May.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, I just want to share with everyone that, what you see as Vic here, this is who he is as a person. And, he's around, and Art Credit Pro is incredible. The website is incredible. The company's incredible. His book is incredible, the ebook, and so much more. And he really, does get on the phone with you and dig through everything. And he does coach you like about life, even when, he doesn't intend to, like he said. And he has a lot of value and knowledge, in the field. So yeah, if you're looking or you know someone, please, like I really do recommend Vic. And you hear his story now. And thanks everyone for staying tuned in. This is incredible that you guys are all here listening, to this show. So yeah, share with everyone, your website and everything, Vic.
Absolutely. So, again, we got into the credit and finance world again to be able to. We first off, we found a need for it, and
Hmm.
we are working around, the area, what's happening with the world today in the pandemic, and knowing how to help people is important. All right. Our main company is called Freedom to Thrive. Okay. And it just, when I created that name, I just knew we weren't meant to just live, right? We were meant to thrive. And I'm like, man, Freedom to Thrive sounds amazing, right? And so Art Credit just came because we knew that financially people can help. We can help people financially with the credit and knowledge we knew. The website is artcreditpro.com. It is actually being changed up a little bit, so you may get an error message right now because I'm redoing the website. But you can go to my Facebook page, Arc Credit Pro, ARK Credit Pro. You can go to my Instagram and check there as well. We, again, between being a parent and being a husband and being a business owner, we do our best to be able to stay marketing and stay as possible, but we are behind the scenes working a lot. Got whiteboards, I got client stuff going on. So we are always working. Um, and we provide free consultations to clients, risk-free, no obligations, 15-minute calls to see where you're at, to see whether or not you qualify for credit repair. Sometimes you may not. We help you either build your credit, different things. The goal is to not only help you with credit restoration, we teach you what
Hmm.
credit is. We go over the process with you. We give you tips. We give you different hacks to help you build a credit, right? And then on top of that, so it's credit education, credit restoration, credit building. And the fourth factor we do is once our clients get into the 680 or above or 700 score, now that their credit report is clean and they're great, we teach them how to leverage that credit and turn it into wealth. Like no one taught me how to use my credit and build wealth with that. How to be able to create an asset and build an asset with your good credit. All right, now I have a great 700 credit score. What do I do with it? Right? Then, I think in school they don't teach you that. Financial literacy. So I think it's important for you to know. All right, now that I have great credit, how do I leverage it responsibly to build more assets, which in turn can generate more wealth and eventually generational wealth for my family? Because to be honest with you, this is why I do it. My son may or may not be an entrepreneur, and we're okay with that. He could be a doctor, a dentist, I don't know, whatever he wants to do. But we are going to teach him the philosophy of how to think for himself, right? I think critical thinking is so important today. How to think for yourself, how to build up yourself. We're going to teach him, of course, morals and all that, but we want to give him the foundation to have a great, excellent credit profile. because we're going to build his credit since he was young, and then give him the opportunity, give him the tools to be able to make his own decisions as he grows up. But I mean, it's all about leaving a legacy. To be honest, that's all it is.
Yeah.
For my heirs.
Yeah. I just want to say your company feels like a home,
I
it's
appreciate that.
comfortable. Well, at least for me, if you like Try Together, you're going to like Vic's company because he's my friend and this is my circle. So yeah, definitely, hook up with him. And I hope everyone has a great, great day. And it's Wednesday. Get some sun. And is there anything else you'd like to share, Vic?
Yeah. So what I would do is, if you're watching this video right now or this or at a later time, contact us. If you decide that you would like to get a free call, give us a call. And what we'll do is we'll knock off $100 off of your services if you want to. So, and I'll give you the code. We'll just put like, C.H.A.I 100 or something like that, the code. And we'll knock off $100 off of your services. But again, I think I love what you're doing here. It incorporates what I am doing now with my life. I think, like I said, I have a higher purpose right now. I'm a geek when it comes to learning. I love to learn. I'm really studying more. I did get into meditation recently, about a few months ago.
Wow.
Oh yeah, I'm like, when I say I'm going deep, I'm just really helped out with my anxiety and
Mm,
my breathing. So that's one area that I look at as well. Just kind of focusing on inner what I can control.
mm.
And I just kind of want to leave out with this: if you are dealing with, if you're an empathetic person, if you feel everything, if you're just exhausted with what's going on in the world right now, just take a step back and breathe. Right? I think this is what I love. You do just breathe. Take 7 deep breaths, close your eyes, and just breathe. Right? And just breathe, right? Let all the energy, the negative energy, the back harm, let it all go. And just think about what you can control. And that helps me out, when I'm working in the office or on a client call or something happens in life where I feel like I'm out of control. I just think about, all right, is this bigger than me? How
Mm.
can it affect me? And I tell my wife too, hey, don't sweat the small stuff, right? And it's all small stuff, right? We're living, we're breathing, we have a roof over our heads, we have a happy family, we have a healthy family. What more could we want? There's a lot more we can have and we want, but let's just be grateful for it to being in the present. Um, let's just be grateful for who we are and what we have in our lives. That's it. Because I don't like to say life is short. Life is long, right? Life is long. Live it, cherish it, love it, and learn how to thrive, make the most of it.
Woo! freedomtothrive.com, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, actually, that website was taken. So, but we're working on our. It's called
Oh,
FTC Consulting Group. So yeah, we're working. We have a lot of different things coming up.
it's okay. Mine are worked on too. But you know what? I
Process.
still do this.
It's a process. I tell you, it's a process, but we're gonna get there, and so will you. I can't wait to see it when you're on these big stages. I'm telling you, I'm calling it right now. March 10th, 2021. Prativa Day is going to be on a stage speaking to 10,000 people at an event, and it's going to be somewhere in the U.S. I'm telling you, I speak it.
Right?
It's going to be big, and your connections and your reach is going to be major, above and beyond what you ever thought possible. I'm telling you, I know it. I feel it. I feel it. I know
Wow.
it.
I have nothing to say after that. Did you say today, March 10th?
March 10th.
That's today.
Yeah, I know. Now, I'm telling you, March 10, 2021,
Oh,
right?
okay. You're saying
Hey, it's gonna happen.
today you declare it.
I'm gonna, yeah, I'm gonna give it. Watch, you see.
This
You
one,
wait. You
he
wait.
said,
It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be amazing. I love it. And you're gonna say to yourself, I can't believe this is happening. Well, you should believe.
I can't believe this is happening. I do Chai together.
Yeah.
mugs are booming. I'm going to Arizona next week, actually.
Fuck is
And
awesome.
I'm in grad school. For those who don't know, I'm in grad school. Like what? So yeah.
You're doing amazing, but you're just starting.
Mm. I
Yes.
am just starting. I have to remind myself that I give myself grace because there's a lady who I spoke to, and she stated to me, Tiba, a year is not a long time. So
Yeah, you're
I've done,
starting.
I've done a lot in the last 6 months. So
I'm telling you, the people you're going to connect with, you're
yeah.
not gonna believe it, but you need to believe it because it's who you are. It's right. It's what you were put here for. I'm telling you.
Mm.
I'm just telling you, just so you know. Everyone agrees with me, as you can see, by the way.
Recorded, so I can always come back and hear it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's gonna happen.
Yeah. And you need to rest my cheeks because when you have fat cheeks, it's like
That's so good. I used to be a kid when I was young. Not anymore, so it's good.
I remember a picture that used to hurt when I
Yeah.
used to like, when you're not formed yet, like you're a kid, like your body hit puberty. It's just like,
Yeah.
oh, someone said there's going to be a Pratiba Day movie someday. I
Oh,
actually thought of that. Yeah, for sure. You could make a movie on my life. It's been one hell of a life, and I just turned 28. So just like what?
I'm second that. I am telling you, the reach, the impact. It's not many people that go through what you've gone through,
Oh
and
yeah.
you're able to share it right confidently.
Yeah. I don't have any fear.
And you've gone through the moments, right? But not only that, you're using it for good, right? It's I can't explain it, but your intentions are pure. That's what I
Yeah.
feel.
Yeah.
Energy is important, man. Energy is everything. If you had bad energy, I would not be on this webinar,
Yeah.
on this show. You've never had that.
Yeah. It's
So
interesting. Yeah, even years ago, I'm still the same. Like my
yeah.
environment couldn't take that from me, couldn't change me.
Hmm. Hmm.
I could have became bitter, but I love people. That's the
Yeah.
opposite,
Yeah.
of what happened.
I mean, and you've done. It's just it's great to see your growth. It's crazy. I'm just like,
I
wow.
know.
But you know what? Again, they say that the grave is the most powerful and the most
Mhm.
because there's so many dreams and goals and ambitions die at the grave. But
Yeah.
I'm so happy that you went through that, but you are strong enough to share it
Yeah.
and help people grow and get through theirs. So,
Yeah.
try together, man. Let's try together. I'm telling you, that's gonna be on a billboard, yo. Watch.
I together.
I'm
I
telling
can.
you.
It's
It's,
so possible.
it's gonna
Billboard.
be. I am telling you that is going to be a name. It's already a name, by the way. But that's gonna be, yo.
Mm.
I am so. Oof, I feel it. I know it. And the logo, I love the logo, by the way. That's why I have it here. It's amazing. It's awesome.
Thank you, Vic.
I appreciate you for having me. I do. I really do. You're
Thank
awesome.
you. Everyone have a great, great, great day and never give up. Bye. Peace.